Okay, everybody, I'm back. So, I decided to just use one color ribbon, which is too monochromatic. It just looked too plain. So I went ahead and I actually picked 3 different kinds. And I know I also said that I wasn't going to do red and green because it looks like Christmas, but there's too much green in here. And her daughter's nursery has green. It's not this dark of a green, but it's still green. Walls. And I just think that I need to have some more green in here, just besides that background color on the fabric itself. So I'm going to go ahead and do green, but I did a really thin green, as you can see, so it's much less in your face. Okay, staple these things down. Again, if you can't staple, if you have to do hot glue, go ahead. But again, you're going to have to be way more patient. You're going to have to let these things set and let the hot glue set before moving on, or that it's just not going to hold. And so you don't want to go through all this trouble and not have it hold. So anyway, so I went ahead and the red, I went ahead and did 4 pieces. And I'll show you my board in a little more detail once I get all of this stuff nailed down here. So I went ahead and I did 4 pieces of red going diagonal in the same direction, and then on the opposite direction on a diagonal, I went ahead and I did the turquoise blue with a little white stitch running through the center, which I really liked because it just gave it a little something extra. And then I'm doing this green. So, a good thing I checked that because that ribbon was twisted. I would have had to redo it. Okay, so let me just get this last thing tacked. Oh, I didn't get that one through. The green. Okay, let me get that tacked down. Just cut off the edges here real quick. Don't worry about this back side because I'm gonna use brown craft paper or white paper or something to cover the back of this so it doesn't look all messy. Okay, so here is, let me tilt my camera up here a little bit so you guys can see this better. So here is the board, and I'm going to zoom out. Well, it's not going to let me zoom out that much. Let me just go ahead and pick the camera up for a second. Okay, I'll try not to keep you guys too dizzy, and there's my nasty garage. Okay, so there's the board crisscrossed with the different colors. And again, it's okay if you have larger and smaller sections, because again, you don't want to cover up the fabric all the way because that fabric is a super cute part of it. And then again, by the time they put, I'm sorry, I'm trying to do this minimal amount of dizziness and get this set back up. You don't want to, by the time she adds her pictures and everything on here, you don't want to totally cover it up. Okay, she had a girl. So I got a tie pink in here somewhere. So I've decided to keep it uniform. I'm going to use all pink buttons. Now they might be a different shade of pink, but they're going to be all pink buttons. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. This is my plan. So I'm going to go ahead and anywhere where there is a crisscross, I'm going to tack down with my stapler. Okay, I'm going to tack that area down. So give it a good push and tack that area down. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hot glue a button. And my point in tacking this area down, if at all possible, is to give it a little bit of a divot. And honestly, it doesn't really look like it's really going to give that much of a divot. So if you have, because I think, you know, because this, oh my goodness, I'm sorry guys. Because the board is so thick, but I'm still going to do it anyway, because, and the other thing it's going to do is it's going to help to reinforce and give rigidity to this board, and give rigidity to the ribbons, and so that will just make them even more functional as actual little holders for photos or mementos or whatever it is that she decides that she's going to put on this thing. So I'm going to just go ahead and tack it down and use my hot glue and just stick a little bit of glue on the back of my button and just set them down. Okay. And just continue to keep going. And again, my intention is to go ahead and tack down every single little crossed hatched area with a button. But I'm also going to be flexible too. So if I get going on this and I decide, oh, it's too many buttons, I don't like how it looks, I'll go ahead and stop. And on the areas where the ribbon intersecting, like this cross hatch right here where it's the blue and the red, I'm going to go ahead and use a larger button. And on an area where it's cross hatching and the like in this area right here with this green that's a smaller cross hatch, I'm going to go ahead and use a smaller button and just keep working. And then if your oops a daisy, that one didn't work. Just do it again here. And if your cross hatch is real close to an edge like it is here, I probably don't tack it down, because you got to also keep it. Ow, I just got a little bit of glue on my thumb. Ooh. I'm not following the Martha Stewart principle of making sure to have a bowl of ice water. Okay, again, sorry, got a little sidetracked there. On a crosshatch area that's real close to the border, I would not do a button, because we're going to have our frame, remember, coming around, and you don't want the frame to be not able to seat properly because that button is bumping on it funny. So I think I can, well, here, let me just test it out real quick. There's nothing wrong with testing it out. If in doubt, test it out. And you know what? I am going to actually be able to do this last one right here. And yeah, so go ahead and do this last one. Okay. And get this down. And I think it looks like most of the buttons I used were matte. So I'm going to go ahead and use a shiny one here. Okay. So there is my button. So I'm going to go ahead and let that last button sit for just a minute. And just FYI, all of this ribbon is just various and sundry, like off-ray ribbon and stuff that I picked up at like Michael's and JoJo's and Wally World, Walmart. And then I got this little bucket of buttons in the dollar bin section at Michael's quite a while ago, but I've been back there several times and they have had those buttons back in stock from time to time. And there's different colors, like there's pink and blue and purple. There's all sorts of different little colors. So keep your eye out, because you get a bunch of buttons in your, so it's definitely worth the $1. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and put my board in my frame. I'm done with the gluing. And you can finagle this a little bit if you have to, guys, because like as I'm putting it in here, I'm noticing that this one side is not letting to go in. So make sure your little pins are, there we go. See, go ahead and pop it in there, guys. Make sure your little pins are pushed back as far as they're going to go. And then I'll just take my pliers and make sure that you push this in there really good too, because you know your recipient is going to be pushing and poking on this thing, and you don't want them pushing it loose. So make sure that you get your board nice and seated well in this frame and then push it in there well. Okay, moment of truth. Aw, she's cute. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pull us around again. I'm going to look at the finished product. And I'm going to, okay, again, I'm going to make you dizzy here for a minute. I'm sorry. I'm going to just try something out here, just for fun. I can't decide if the frame is too blah, if it needs a little something. So there's a fair amount of yellow. I got this yellow rickrack here, but I think it's going to be too bright. Let me see here. Well, it's not too bad, actually, but I don't know. I really wish that my frame, because you see how my frame is white and my fabric is cream. I really wish I had a matching frame, but I don't. And I didn't want to paint it, and so I'm just trying to, you know, not fret about it and just use what I got. So, I don't know, guys. I'm going to look at it. See? I don't know. I think that it looks good the way that it is, but part of me is thinking maybe I should put a little bit of rickrack around the edge here just to give that frame a little something, because it just looks kind of plain in comparison to the rest of it. But then I'm worried if I cover this whole perimeter of this frame in this rickrack, then it's going to be too much, you know, and it's going to look gaudy. So here, just bear with me for a moment. I'm going to undo this and I'm going to just talk to myself for a minute here. So let me see. No, I think I'm going to leave it alone. When in doubt, leave it alone. So I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it. And then the last thing I need to do is it came with the frame itself came with a little picture hanger. One of these little picture hangers. These little sawtooth deals. And I'm going to go ahead and hammer that into the back of my frame. And then I'm going to call it a day. So I think I'm going to make her a couple of little glass marble push pins to put in this board. So I'm sure most of you know how to do those. You just take these flat backed. I'm going to show you just real quick. I'm not going to do a tutorial for you because I'm just going to walk you through it real quick on the off chance that you don't know how. So I bought this bag of flat back gem accents at Dollar Tree. And so they just are these flat marbles here. And so you just take a piece, take your Mod Podge. Oh, there goes the kids fighting. I'm going to have to break here in a minute. Okay. You take the fabric. You find a little piece that you want. You let Mason have it. I'll be right there. Let him have it. I'll be right there. Okay. Sorry. So you're just going to cut out a little piece of fabric. You're going to Mod Podge it to the back of this marble. When it's done, when it's dry, then you're going to just go ahead and hot glue a flat thumbtack to the back of it. And then you have pins, push pins. So I'll probably make her like maybe 2 or 3 of those along with it. So, but I think that's all I'm going to do. So anyway, I'm done. Thank you for putting up with me, guys. I hope that this was somewhat of a benefit to you. And if not, thanks for putting up with me anyway. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy crafting.